everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography. I'm Mark Wallace, joined by Tasi. Today we're going to explore the direction of light and the qualities of light to create some really interesting photos, some portraits, and it's going to be really fun. So first let me show you this contraption that I've sort of created here. Now this is nothing new. In fact, I was inspired by my friend Sesay. I saw some of his videos where he used some umbrellas similar to this, and so I've stolen that from him. And so what I want to do is I'm stacking these two umbrellas. They're going to fire simultaneously to create big, nice, soft light that just comes and wraps around Tasi. Now the cool thing about these is you can see that these umbrellas they're shallow, but because they're a little bit deep, they're really going to project light in one direction. So the light's going to be coming straight in. So we're going to get nice, soft, but directional light. That's what this is going to be doing for us. Also, because this is on a rolling stand, I'm going to be able to move this around and shoot it from the front or the side or the back, and we can use the direction of light to change how everything looks. Now we're going to keep it really, really simple. One of the things I love about this space, my friends are moving out of their condo and they said I could steal their living room on the day before they leave and sign the end of their lease. So this is just a nice open space with this really awesome concrete wall. It's got a lot of texture. And the other thing I love about concrete is that in post-production you can do some split toning, some color grading, and you can bring things out of that concrete. You can change the color of it, you can make it more textury, you can make it softer, and so we have that there. And so Tasi's going to come back out here because the next thing we need to do is we need to do a demo on exactly what the direction of light does and how it affects all of the portraits that we're about to take. So you ready? We're going to do that next. We're going to begin with a very simple demo of how the direction of light controls the contrast in our image, and that can make a huge difference in your portraits. And so we have a really easy setup here. So I have this octabox set up, and right now it's on axis with my camera. The camera is never going to move position. We have Tasi right here. She's not going to move position. The only thing that's going to move is the position of this light, and we'll see how that changes everything. Also, Tasi's going to be metering the light for me. We've already metered the first shot, and so we're going to take that. You can put that down for just a second and look right in the camera. Boom! There we go. So this is front light. This is light that is coming straight on, same position as our camera. It's called front light because it's coming from the front. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this same exact light and we're just going to move this to the side. So Tasi's not moving, our camera's not moving, just the light is moving. I'll lower this a little bit so it's about where your face is. And go ahead and meter that toward the light. There you go, click that. Let me move this down a little bit. We want to shoot at about f8, so meter that one more time. f8, great. So again, the only thing that's changed is the position of our light. Look right at the camera. We'll take a shot. And now you can see that our contrast has gone way up. We have light coming from one side and nothing coming from the other. So we have shadow and we have highlight. So our contrast went up. Contrast is just the difference between the darkest and the brightest area in our image. So by moving that light to the side, we increase that contrast. Now what happens if we take this and we'll go even to the extreme? So I'm going to put this now behind Tasi, and you don't even need to meter this because it's just going to be overexposed is my guess. So now we're shooting this straight into the camera. Again, the only thing that's changed is the position of our light. And look at this. Now we have this silhouette. And so we have light coming straight from behind. This is called backlight. And it gives us a two-dimensional shape. So what we learned is if the light is behind our subject, we get shape. But as that light is moving around, that shape becomes more contrasty. We start to see form, and as it moves around on axis to our camera, we get flat light, which is great for color, but we don't get a lot of shadows and highlights or anything. We get just nice flat light. Now that we know about the direction of light, we're going to put that into practice using this double umbrella system. Now there's one more thing that I want to tell you about, and that is the quality of light. Now I already alluded to it earlier that this is going to give us nice soft light, but because of the way these umbrellas are set, that light is going to be very directional, and so I'm going to move this out. I don't want to block the view right away, but I'm going to move this out, and we're going to shoot through these umbrellas. So my camera is going to be on axis with the light. So it's all going to be lined up, shooting right this way, whammo. And so what that's going to do is something really spectacular. If you've ever used a ring flash in the studio or seen a ring flash used, you know that ring flashes are amazing because on the sides of our subject, so Tasi's arms and her hair and back here on the back, there's going to be no shadows, but there's going to be a dark line surrounding her body. It's almost like somebody took a magic marker and traced her. So let me show you how this works. We're going to shoot with front light, which is generally pretty darn boring. But because our quality of light is so awesome, we're going to get away with it. So I've got this about right here. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to meter this light. We're just going to take whatever it gives us. So if it's f8, great. If it's 5.6, great. We don't really care. So it's at 5.6. I have my camera here. I'm going to match that. So I'm shooting in manual mode, ISO 100, 5.6, and my shutter speed is 200. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot through this. I'm going to put my lens right in there, and that's going to put me on axis with the light. It's a very directional light. And so I'm going to shoot these vertically, zoom in, perfect. So I want you to move, yeah, give me lots of shapes, excellent. So Tasi's using that wall to give some contrast to the shape of her body. Oh, I love that, yes, keep that right there, chin down just a little bit, yes, exactly like that. Okay, wow, I love these shots. And you can see that we have that outline that I was talking about. So we have on axis front light, which is generally not so good, but because of the quality of light, that nice soft directional light, we're getting away with it. We're getting some really amazing photos. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is let's take that and increase the contrast. So I'm going to move this. So we're going to go to the side, maybe a little bit to the front. I don't know, about like that. So this is going to be nice side light. So all the light's coming this way, and so hopefully what we're going to get is this side of Tasi's body is going to be exposed correctly, but this is all going to fall into shadow. So we're going to get nice dark here, really nice bright here, really contrasty images. Now for this to work, Tasi's going to have to learn where her light is. She's a professional model. She already knows. She's going to be posing toward this light. And because we have that contrast, I've asked her to make lots of nice shapes. And so we're going to make that happen. And so let's play with that and see if we can get some great stuff. So what I need to do is meter the light. Now for this, I know I want this to meter around f8 so I get nice everything in focus, so my depth of field is nice. And then also I want to make sure I can really bring out all the texture in that wall, so I don't want shallow depth of field. I want everything to be sharp. So let me meter this. I'm metering toward the light. So I'm metering for the highlights, and that's f8. So I just got lucky. I wanted to shoot at f8. I accidentally put the lights where they metered at f8. So now let's take our camera and let's start shooting. Now the nice thing is I'm shooting tethered. And so Tasi can actually look at the monitor and she can see what we're getting. That's going to really help her with understanding how to move her body. And so perfect, I like that. I'm just going to take one test shot and take a look at it. And oh, I love that. I love that. I don't know if you can see this. It looks fantastic. And so we're going to play with this. This is nice, soft side light. And so Tasi's giving me those shapes. I'm shooting from a lower vantage point here, and that is working perfect. I'll get a little bit higher. Now I'm going to do some horizontals, get a little closer. So I want you to look at that. This is, yes, there we go. Perfect, just like that. These are horizontal shots. Yes, just perfect. Okay, now so she can see exactly what I'm getting. Again, we have our tethered setup over here, so she's able to look at that and understand. So it's one more step in communication. I think that works. So let's shoot these, and then well, maybe there's another setup that will work. But first, let's finish this, and then we'll move on. continue our journey of contrast. And so what I've done is I've taken our double umbrellas, and so instead of being on the side, now I have moved them so that they are behind Tasi. And then Tasi has moved forward, so she's not on the wall anymore. She's come about, 3 or 4 feet from the wall so that the light is hitting behind her. So we're gonna get this nice silhouette of light. So to begin with, I want to just show you what that looks like. And then we're gonna add some special juice to this. So we're gonna first shoot this. I've already metered this. We're shooting this at f9. So we're looking for some nice shapes again. Perfect. So let's just take a look at these shots. And you can see that what we have here is really strong backlight. And so that strong backlight is hiding Tasi's face, but you can see really nice shape. And so what we want to do now is we want to take this nice soft directional backlight and we're going to add some hard light. Now I know you're usually thinking soft light, soft light, soft light, or hard light, hard light, hard light, but guess what? You can mix soft light and hard light, and that's what we're going to do. So I have up here a head with this guy. This is a Snoot. So if you look at that, there's this little grid on the front of that. That's going to make sure that light is very directional. So the light from our head is going to come through this Snoot, looks like a little Devo hat, through the grid, and then we're only illuminating right here on Tasi's face. So we have nice soft light coming from behind, highlighting her shape, and then this hard light is going to hit right on her face, and then that is going to create sort of an 80s glamoury look. I think it's going to look pretty cool. The other thing I have is this light here is almost exactly on axis with our camera. I'll move a little bit, but remember that the difference between our light and our camera is going to define our contrast, and so we can play with how this looks. So I'm going to turn this on, and then we're going to meter this light. We want this to meter at around f9. That's where I've set my camera. Now for this, what I need to do is I need to turn on the modeling light, and then I'm going to have Tasi look into this grid to tell me if it's hitting her exactly on the face. Yep. There it is. Okay, because it's sort of hard to see exactly what's going on. And then I'm going to put this on her nose. Is it okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, I always ask if it's okay. And then I'm going to meter to that light, and that's metering at f8, which is just a little bit below. It's a third stop below what our lights from behind have metered, but that's okay. We'll get a nice rim of light. We can sort of adjust that to taste. Okay, so my camera is set at f9, ISO 100, shutter speed of 200, and now we are going to play with this. So I'm going to have Tasi looking toward this light. Nice body shapes. We'll take a look at this. And now look at that nice glamoury shot. We can see underneath her chin, we've got this nice hard shadow, but because we've mixed that with soft light, I think it works. So I'm going to play with where I'm standing. We're going to have Tasi play with where she's looking. I absolutely love these photos. They look terrific. I think we learned something, that the position of our light matters. We were able to move the double umbrella system from front light to side light to back light and create 3 distinct looks. And I have to say, I was not so sure about that last set of the sort of 80s glamoury stuff, but I think you pulled it off and it looks wonderful. So I want to say to everybody watching, if you are inspired by this, hey, post your stuff on Instagram or on Facebook and tag me so I can see what you did with the information that you learned in this video. Also, if you want to see more of Tasi's stuff, I have included links to all of her socials and portfolio and stuff in the description of this video, along with all the gear that we used in this video. And so I hope this is useful. Thank you so much for being here today, Tasi. Thank you for watching. Make sure you give us a like and thumbs up and subscribe and all that stuff that you have to do. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you again next time.